The number of women who came out of the fucking woodwork last time I was public about being in a relationship and all of a sudden realized that I was an attainable man and that I had a hot girlfriend, and then all of a sudden they want to message me and tell me how much they miss me. It is absolutely madness when it happened. I couldn't.
Can we go back to the dread topic for a second? Because this is the first time I've had Harper and Kindly at the show at the same time, and they've witnessed it. I want to hear it from their perspectives because you guys are the ones who allegedly manufactured it for me and Michael.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously works. Obviously, like I said, and also on the third date, like it just works.
Diabolical.
It's diabolical.
There's like a trust level, right? Like
should be on the first
another girl, like you trust your women, and obviously, like we're two women that would never put another woman in like a bad situation. So I'm never gonna have a friendship where I'm like sticking my neck out there for somebody who I don't already see value in, already would potentially see as a good figure in somebody else's life. But yeah, no, it works very much.
But I mean, I'm also not just going to do that for some guy I don't know.
Not randomly, no.
Like, I actually do know that he's a
like he's a
decent human being, and he is.
You think they're talking in code? She's talking about being a wing woman.
Yeah,
she's talking about being a wing woman and how effective that is. There's not. In fact, I've gotten to the point where I don't think there's anything more effective because these other attractive women vouched for him. It generated genuine attraction, not money attraction, genuine attraction. And it's
it doesn't even need to be in person. It could be on Instagram.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's multiple studies from Oklahoma State, Texas Tech University, the Royal Society, Southwest University, all showing that men pictured in photos with women in general are deemed to be more attractive. And it's not that the guy, I'm not talking about the dude with sunglasses on, snorting a bunch of coke with 2 bottles of tequila, putting his arm around women. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the guy who's in a nice suit, standing on a red carpet, raising money for animals, and with his female friends who seem to be happy to be around him. That's just more like, I don't know. I'm calling my own foul here. But yeah, that's essentially what I'm talking about. And so just coming to the recognition,
specific.
Yeah, well, I mean, coming to the recognition, like there is a way to solve this problem. And the problem is getting deeper. And by the way, this is only going in one direction.
Mike, what happens when you post a picture of you amongst a whole lot of women?
It's so crazy. It's the opposite.
Exactly the opposite.
Make choice copying only works in one direction. You'll hear these people on these shows and they'll be like, well, it doesn't work as strongly for women as it does for men. No, it doesn't work at all. Like if I see a woman that I find physically attractive, I don't give a shit whether or not you find her physically attractive. I do not need comparisons. I do not need other men or women to tell me that a girl is hot. If I look at her and I see she's hot, I need no additional context or stimulus or information. I need no further data points for me to find her attractive. For the opposite is not the case. The number of women who came out of the fucking woodwork last time I was public about being in a relationship and all of a sudden realized that I was an attainable man and that I had a hot girlfriend, and then all of a sudden they want to message me and tell me how much they miss me. It is absolutely madness when it happened. I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, oh, obviously, because this is why? Because choice
talk about not that everyone should do this, but Queen Game.
Oh my God. Okay, so I made a video on Queen Game. Now the problem with this is
it is very unethical.
This is very
advise anyone do this.
This is very unethical and it's extremely toxic. Okay. So
what is Queen Game?
Okay, so let me say a couple things. I have mentioned previously in my content things that I don't recommend you do, but they still work. The guy who sells coke, who fucks a lot of girls. You guys know that? I'm not telling you should do it. I'm just saying it's undeniable. Let's just admit that it's true. Okay. I think it's a terrible way to get women, but it definitely does work. Okay. And the guy who abuses steroids, who's like kind of ripped, those guys get chicks and cover their bodies and tattoos. They get some chicks. I'm not saying you should do it, but the one that is the worst, that is the worst of all of them, is Queen Game. And a great example of Queen Game is the wizard Liz, her boyfriend. Perfect example of a perpetrator of Queen Game. This is the way it works. Let's say me and Sydney are dating, and we go skiing together, and we get the people behind us to take a photo of us on the ski lift, like this, holding hands. It's like this really cute photo of us. And then there's another photo of us holding hands like this, looking into each other's eyes, and behind us is the Burj Khalifa or the Eiffel Tower. And then there's another photo of us holding hands while we're walking through the Valley of Fire together. And then there's another photo of you like this, where I bought you a new car. And there's all these photos showing this fairy tale life.
Buy this giant bouquet of roses.
This giant bouquet. There's like rose petals going to your bed, and on the bed it says "Happy Birthday, Sydney." And these rose petals. You'll see that. And the guy is doing this for one reason: not to make his girlfriend happy, to get other women to creep into his DMs so that he can fuck those women behind his girlfriend's back. That is called queen game.
You have stolen my dreams.
It's so funny because one of my buddies who does the most queen game of any ever, I posted that video and he wrote it. He goes, "That's funny. I know guys who do that." It was hilarious. It's hilarious, bro. It's so funny. But yeah, that's essentially what queen game is. And so the Wizard Liz is a great example. This guy, because his profile shot up through the roof because he was dating this famous influencer with tens of millions of followers. And so he had a bunch of girls sneaking into crawling into his DMs out of nowhere. And then he was using his pre-selection, his mate choice copying effect, the bonus effect that he gets as far as attraction is concerned with the Wizard Liz. And then he was using that to bang other chicks on the side or talk. Apparently he didn't sleep with anyone. He just talked to some girl on Snapchat. But
Believable.
Yeah, but
no one goes push back to the women who know they're going after a guy who's in a relationship.
Yes.
There's no pushback on those girls.
Yes, exactly. It's like because they have agency to do that. It's like those women are just unhealed or something, or those men are toxic for allowing this. But that's essentially what goes on. And then there's so much data showing that women want men who other women want. Okay, women prefer men who are already in relationships because it's proof of concept. Do you think that would work?
Oh yeah. Because all it, like I said before, I've been writing about like I kind of break it down into like nuts and bolts when it comes to like the psychology of it. So it's like, for lack of a better term, we've been calling it dread for a long time, and that's just because it's about like urgency. It's about immediacy. It's about like one of the things that I break down in my books is when we talk about pre-selection, we talk about social proof. It's one thing if you have other people that are verifying that for you. Like if we're Babes in Toyland, people come up to me and say, "Oh, Rollo, can I take a selfie with you? Can I, now that I got you, can I tell you about my problems?" That kind of stuff. That's one thing. But if it's unsolicited, if you try to manufacture it yourself, that's when you come off as being creepy.
Yeah.
That's
No. You can try to manufacture it. She just can't see it.
Yes. Yeah.
Doing it on the
It
third
has to
date
be
is diabolical because that's like the sixth date.
No, you do it.
Right?
Yes.
And so like doing it on the third date is just kind of like
Listen, she's the one who called it
down.
she called it the sex date.
Somebody put this on Twitter before I got here, and it was a story about 200 women or 200 children that were born because these 200 women used the same sperm donor to artificially inseminate themselves.
Yes.
And the reason why it made the news is because this guy who was just giving away his jizz was had cancer or had some sort of like genetic marker that you get 90% of the time your kids are going to get cancer. The children are getting cancer as a result of this. And they're going, "Oh, this is terrible. We need to regulations." I'm like, 200 women picked this one dude, okay? Like like never met the guy, just saw his pictures and everything. Like, I think we should probably start looking into that side of the story as well, instead of just, like chalking it up to being a bad luck.
That's why.